I love it. It's going to be in my head for the next month for sure.
That twang, there's something in it that just, I don't know, makes me laugh.
I know.
So,
I'm ready to go next door to label and go dancing.
There you go. There you go. So welcome to another episode of Good Fat Life, our podcast. And we have a really amazing guest with us today. But before I introduce her, I just want to remind you to go to goodfatlife.com and check out the magazine. And kind of spoiler alert, we went to print yesterday on the next issue, and it's pretty good. Actually, some of the articles made me cry as well. But they just touched my soul. I don't know what this crying is about, but it's good stuff. They're happy tears,
Pulling
right?
at the heartstrings.
Pulling at the heartstrings. So I'm very excited to introduce our guest today. It's Cassy Sleeper. That's a lot of S's, right? From North Star Reach, which is a gem of a facility camp right here in Livingston County. And when I first met Cassy, I was shocked about what is just down the street from us, what this camp does, who they are. And so welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me today.
So tell me about North Star Reach.
North Star Reach, as you mentioned, it truly is a gem right here in our backyard. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we provide life-changing camp experiences for seriously ill children and their families. We are Michigan's only fully accessible, barrier-free, medically supported camp.
So kids get to come, and regardless of their circumstances or their situation, they can come to a camp like any kid coming to summer camp.
Yes, there are actually 1.5 million children living across the Great Lakes region that are battling some level of a life-threatening condition. So when I say life-threatening condition, I'm talking about epilepsy, sickle cell, heart disease, neurological disorders, blood disorders, kids that have had organ transplants. There are 1.5 million, and less than 10% of those children are able to attend your traditional summer camp because their medical challenges don't allow them to do so. They need so much care and so much attention. North Star Reach is a place that changes that for all of them. North Star Reach is a place that these kids can finally come and experience this childhood rite of passage. And it's a place where what has always been impossible for them is now possible.
Tell us about like a typical day for, you were telling a group that when I met you, that was, you just, and it just brings tears to your eyes because it's simple camp pleasures, right?
Yeah, so all of our camps are organized by disease state. So we will have a week of heart camp. We'll have a week of hematology, oncology camp. These kids come to camp. It's an overnight camp, week-long summer camps. And for many of these kids, it's the first time they've been away from their parents for more than 30 minutes or their caregivers. So they come to camp and they're surrounded by 99 other children just like them. You think about a child that's had a liver transplant. One of the greatest things, these kids are by the swimming pool and they're hesitant to take their shirt off and get in the water because everywhere else, everybody's looking at them and they're staring at their scar that goes from here to here. And then finally one kid takes his shirt off and then another kid runs over and rips his shirt off. And he said, "Hey, I have that same scar." And next thing you know, all these kids are gathered around and they're comparing who has the biggest scar. And suddenly it went from being something they're ashamed of and prevents them from experiencing the many joys of childhood to bragging rights, and it's a badge of honor. And what moments like these do for these kids is life-changing. It gives them confidence. They feel normal. We hear that a lot from our kids. Said, "This is the only place that I have ever felt normal, and I'm not looked at differently."
It's huge. So when I first met you, it was at a fundraising event in a different county, right? And there were people that had experienced the camp that were talking. There were young adults and teenagers, and their conversation was, it changed my life because suddenly I went from this environment where, I was so protected and this was the norm to, oh my gosh, I'm capable of so much. And there's other people like me who are doing amazing things and I can do those things too.
Yes, the impact of camp lasts far beyond the gates of camp. It's not just a week at camp. We've actually have studies that we've conducted with our campers that talk about the lasting impacts of camp. And this is self-reported by our campers and our camper parents. And 90% of our campers wanted to try new things after attending camp at North Star Reach. 85% of our campers were more confident. Kids are more medically independent. They're better at medical self-care. And it really changes the trajectory of their life. They're learning to do things on their own and not having somebody else constantly doing it for them. And it really does change their world.
Well, and you can see where, just with my own kids and my own family, right? We develop ways of doing things. And that's habitual and it's expected. But when they go outside of their normal environment, suddenly it's different, right? And you think differently. You're exposed to different things. And you've got people that are treating you like you're capable of doing this. Not that their parents don't. I'm not saying that. It's just different, right?
Yes.
You have somebody that doesn't have all of this emotional baggage with you.
Yes. And it's all about finding your North Star, your inner purpose and who you are.
So tell me, and so there's no charge for the campers?
Everything is entirely cost-free for our campers.
And what about the families? Can they come or are they not allowed? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have several different types of camps. We have our residential summer camp, kids only, for 6 days. And then we also have the family camps. Childhood illness affects the entire family. It affects everybody that lives in that home and everybody that loves that child. Siblings are often left on the sidelines by default. There's so much care and attention that's placed on the child with the illness. The siblings are shuffled around from grandparents' houses, sitters' houses. They can't participate in a lot of activities at school because they don't have anybody to take them. One of their parents is always at the hospital. And moms and dads and caregivers, they lose friends over time. We hear a lot that, when Ethan was first diagnosed, everybody, rallied around us and supported us. And then after a while, when we keep saying, no, we can't go to this or we can't go to that because he's in the hospital or he's having surgery, it falls off. And then next thing you know, you're left without friends. So family camp it's actually at the core of our programming this year. And that is a chance for the entire family to leave childhood illness behind and come experience the magic of camp together as a family unit. The activities at family camp are very similar to the activities at our children's camps, but there's several things that are different. And one of my favorite things is when we break out into age group activities. Siblings to be around other kids that get what it's like to grow up with a sick brother or sister, but it gives parents a chance to build friendships and connect with other moms and dads that get their challenges. And we do this activity called Community Circle. And there is a very large circle of poles, so to speak, and there's words on each pole. And each parent is given different colors of yarn, and they go to the pole that they identify with the most. And the words on the pole will say things like, I'm scared, or I'm angry, or this makes me happy. And they tie their string around the pole, and they talk to the other folks that are feeling these feelings of being scared or what they're mad about. And then they go to the next one. And by the end of it, there's this web of all these different colors of string. And, we're from all over the state, but we're all dealing with the same challenges. And it builds this web of support. And it builds a community and lasting friendships as well, that these parents can lean on one another.
I get that. I just remember when my kids were young, that when things happen, you feel like, oh, you're isolated and it's just you. But then when we would go to, I don't know, my son played hockey. So we would go to the hockey game and you'd talk to other parents. And it just made your heart sing to hear other parents were having those kinds of issues, and that your kid was just behaving the way kids do or with this situation. And it just made you feel like, I can do this.
Yeah.
Right. And we're okay. We're gonna be okay. We can do this. And there's nothing. That's one of the big things about Good Fat Life, and that's kind of part of my. It's the essence of why we're here, is to create that community, right? To connect people.
Yes.
Right, because we can get through anything when we have community.
Yes.
We just do. When you share it, it's not like a burden. It can actually be a joy. Right.
And support systems are so important.
They are so important. And nuances of camp. So what happens if your child gets sick while at camp?
That's a great question. Our kids need a lot of medical care. We actually have a state-of-the-art medical center at camp. It's called the Observatory. And we say that it's the most important part of camp and it's the least important part of camp.
Okay.
It's the most important part of camp because that's what enables these kids to be able to come to camp. When camp is in session, the medical center is staffed 24/7 by doctors, nurses, and medical staff from leading hospitals across the state of Michigan and the Chicago area. These medical staff review these children's needs prior to coming to camp. They administer medications and treatments, so they provide the kids everything that they need, which is what it takes to be safe and to be able to provide a safe but joyful experience. It's the least important part of camp because that's what camp is all about, is forgetting about all of that.
Right.
Their lives revolve around doctors and hospitals and treatments, and it's not fun. And so we want them to come to camp and leave all of that behind and just have fun and make memories and do all the things that other children get to do, that other families get to do. So if a child gets sick at camp, everything that they need is there. And as the camps are organized by disease state, it allows us to bring in medical professionals that are specialized in cardiology or hematology. And, my first camp was an epilepsy camp. And one of our families, they were stunned when they got to camp because our physician that was on site was actually their physician, and they didn't know they were going to be there. And that gives parents so much confidence to drop their children off. And because it's difficult. It's really difficult for them to do.
Especially like you said at the beginning, they maybe have not been away from their child for more than 30 minutes, right? Or very tight breaks. That would be terrifying. It's terrifying when the kids don't have issues you need to worry about, right?
Yeah.
And it's exciting in a way too. It's like, you're all mixed.
Yeah, it's state of the art, but I just had somebody out there last week and they said, I wouldn't even know that this was a miniature hospital, because it's happy, it's fun, it's colorful. But there's patient rooms, there's exam rooms, there's everything that you need there. And, we're blessed also to have CSMA right down the street. Should there be a major medical issue, many of these kids are closer to their home hospital than they would be if they were at home. So.
Wow. Okay. So if you're interested in, checking it out for your child, what would you do?
Yeah, so we would love for more families to be aware that we exist here for them. You can go to www.northstarreach.org, and we have a whole page dedicated to campers and families. There's facts on there, there's information about camp, tells you everything what to expect, and then there's also an application to apply to come to our camps. So as long as our traditional camps, the child must be between the ages of 7 and 17
Okay.
and have some sort of chronic and or life-threatening condition. And there is also, if it's family camp, then it's the whole family. So you don't need to fit within that 5 to 17 age. It can be infants. It can be an infant with the condition. And you apply, and then you get the notification that you're coming to camp, and then the countdown begins.
Are you taking applications now for this year?
We are.
Or is it for next year?
We are taking applications this year. The camp applications for this year opened up in February.
Okay.
And tomorrow is actually our first family camp of the summer. And we actually still had a couple slots open. So just on Tuesday, we received an email from a mom who just heard about it and wanted to know if it was too late to apply to come to camp. So we were able to get her in, and her family will be joining us tomorrow. And this is just the first of several this year. So we have a couple more coming up. Those dates are all listed on our website.
Okay. All right. Well, so that's good to know. So there's still possibility to go to camp in 2025.
Yes.
And at the very least, you want to get your application and plans for 2026, right? And let's see, what are some of the night activities? Like,
well, obviously campfires and s'mores. Camp is amazing. It's 105 acres. We're on a peninsula, so we are surrounded by water on 3 sides. So there's, it's catching fireflies at dusk. It's shooting a bow and arrow for the first time. But one of the best parts about camp is campfire in the evenings. That's when everybody does their activities together with their bunkhouse throughout the day, different activities. And then everybody comes together after dinner for campfire, which is in our Campitheater. We have a fully accessible amphitheater, but of course it's camp, so it's a Campitheater. And that is exactly what you would think it would be. It is, the campfires are going, the kids are roasting marshmallows and making s'mores. We're singing campfire songs, and it's incredible to see. You look out and you see these kids that just met each other, and they're holding hands and they have their arms around each other, and they are immediate best friends.
Best friends. Oh, because kids are so good at that when you give them the opportunity, right?
And one of our traditions on the last night of camp is no hands spaghetti dinner. And so we are part of the Serious Fun Children's Network, which was founded by Paul Newman.
What is it? Serious
Fun Children's Network.
Okay.
It was founded by actor and philanthropist Paul Newman.
Okay.
At a camp in Connecticut called the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp. And there are actually 30 camps and programs that provide these life-changing camp experiences for seriously ill children across the globe. There are only 9 in the States. So North Star Reach is one of only 9 camps of our kind that is able to give these kids this experience in the United States.
Wow.
So Newman's Own, they make spaghetti sauce and popcorn and a lot more treats that I wasn't even aware of, to be honest with you. But it is a tradition at all of our camps all over the world that the last night of camp is no hands spaghetti dinner. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You eat spaghetti with no hands, whether you're a counselor, whether you're the doctor, whether you're one of the kids or not. And it's so funny seeing the kids come running into the dining hall. It's especially funny on family camp weekends because they know that they get to do this and their parents can't say anything about it because it's a camp tradition.
Oh my gosh.
And then after no hands spaghetti dinner is Carnivardi Arty Ants. So Carnivardi Arty Ants is in our, what we call the hangar. It's a multi-purpose room, and there's giant garage doors, glass garage doors that open up to the pool area. And it's a carnival-themed party. And everybody wears costumes, wacky clothes. You can bring your own, or we have a slew of things for the kids to wear. So you dress fun and funky, and it's a carnival. We've got dunk tanks, we've got snow cones, all kinds of games and activities for the kids and families to enjoy. And then after that, go to closing campfire and have our final campfire songs of the week.
Sounds amazing, right? It sounds amazing.
It truly is.
So, okay. So I love what you're doing. And did Paul Newman start the whole thing?
Paul Newman started a camp in Connecticut.
Okay.
And then saw the need. I mean, there's these children and families everywhere. And so all of the camps are independently owned and operated. So
Okay.
North Star Reach, we all have different names. Nobody has the same name, but we're part of this network. So it's
Okay.
an affiliation.
Okay.
There's certain criteria and standards that we need to meet, but it's an incredible resource for us. We're able to share notes and share program ideas. And, as director of philanthropy, I have a call once a month with all the directors of development from all of the camps all over the world. And it's a tremendous resource.
That must be fascinating.
It is.
Wow.
It is. We have translators on the call because people speak different languages.
Oh my gosh. Cassy, it's like, who knew? Right? Who knew? And so I'm so glad that we met, and we have the opportunity to learn more about what you and your colleagues are doing at North Star Reach. And I'm kind of like speechless a little bit, which is not a good thing when you're doing a podcast, right?
No, it's
just with what you're doing, it's phenomenal. And I just want to shout it to the world so that people know. I mean, for the people, the camp's attendees, but also for just people to know, because I'm sure support is important.
yes,
Right?
it is very important. That's one of our biggest challenges. It is incredible. It's life-changing. If North Star Reach didn't exist here in Livingston County, these kids would never have this opportunity. The trajectory of their life would not be improved for the better. But a lot of people don't know that we're there. There's a family that lives 2 miles from camp, and they had no idea that we existed until they saw a post from a person, not even from North Star Reach, on Facebook. So building awareness so that these families can come out to camp, but then also to support and ensure that we are keeping these campfires burning for these kids this year and for many, many years to come.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So there's 500 or more kids that go through every year here?
So a traditional year, we would have closer to 1,600 kids come through.
Oh my gosh.
This year we will have about 400. And then next year we will be adding more camps. It's been a little bit of a slower recovery from COVID, but we're very thrilled that we are back in full speed and that we're welcoming our kids and families back to camp. But since we hosted our first camp in 2016, we have served more than 3,000 children and family members with over 8,000 camp experiences. Many of our campers, they come back every year.
That's amazing. It's just, and you just think of the impact of that, right?
Yes.
It's a ripple.
It is.
It is so, well, thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here and sharing your story and doing the work that you do. And we just want to help in any way we can.
Well, I am so grateful for this opportunity. It's been so wonderful to meet you. We appreciate you in the Good Fat Life and the opportunity to share the power of camp and the magic of camp so that these kids can come out and be kids.
And be kids. Yeah. Yes. Be kids. So on that happy note, I just want to end by doing a shout out for Snedecor's Cleaners, who's one of our partners here at Good Fat Life, and they do amazing work with our clothes. Right? You put your clothes in your yellow bag, you put it on the front porch, and it comes back, whether it's wash dry or dry clean. You just put it in your hanger, and it's ready to go. Put it in your closet and ready to go.
I need their information.
Oh my gosh, it's one of my primary self-cares. To know that my clothes are clean and ready to go is a big deal. And then also the environment. So when my clothes go in, they come back cleaner than if I could have done them myself, and I didn't harm the environment in the process. So, because they're so eco-friendly and their processes that they use. So, shout out to Center Course Cleaners. I'm sorry. My mind is going a million directions with what you've just shared with us. So, thank you for that. And to my readers, again, check out goodfetlife.com for all the cool things that are happening, and go out and live your good fat life.